Hey, what's happening, YouTube family? This is Robert L. Jones Jr. coming at you again with some more Tribal Judah poetry. All right. The first poem of the evening is entitled Me and My Brother and Sister. Surely contrary to those popularizing beliefs of sleep and eating philosophies, and them wickedly presuming ideas of ill-imputed laziness, I still be here, and I would thereby be third eye witnessing that determinate revelation of me and my brother and sister, riding on so high and productive upon the psyche swift and sure enough expedient mission of us straight up dissing and dismissing all of those certifiably crazy cliches and prepositional phrases of African hating quotes, doctrines, and statements that be mental plaguing our collective culture of down-home Nubian character with them tale-telling criticisms of poverty-stricken melancholy and commonplace habits of feeling utterly useless, hopeless, and good for nothing. But this be what they all be foolishly figuring in their wildly perverted thinking with unwisely deprived minds of stone heartless biases, poisoned out erroneously with psychological cyanide so potent with the reptilian potion of some serpent-biting prejudice. And our ever-social dimensions of motherland, flesh, and Ebon spirituality done got ourselves immunized to the nines with a beautifully soulful dose of some undeniably enlivening revolution. And here we all be most definitely with our re-energizing antibodies on some vein coasting truth serum, which be expressing without fear that simply outstanding reality, that me and my brother and sister be denying and denouncing any wretched opportunity to be viciously browbeaten by those self-abusive thoughts of suicidal pity and promise-killing genocide against our kind. And it would certainly be just us getting our own selves handsomely strengthened up from the ground up and beyond, with the magnificent power of courageous pride and dignifying charisma so mightily effervescent with the incandescent strobes of divinely lighted brightness, which be shining on so omnipotent like the noonday majesty of a Shekinah star, transcending universally supreme within this reigning splendor of celestial awe and dynamite amazement. So it be no other shock nor an astonishing hit of surprising wonderment for me and my brother and sister getting so colossally witty in that community of lifting cadence, to boldly chasten and to defiantly reprimand all those many corrupt and judgmental outgivings of Anglo-talking terrorism that be angrily shouting and rapping aloud their Saxon-inspired phonics of purely unadulterated evil, that are just about as fanatically bad as the late bin Laden and his Taliban caravan from the dark and desolate caverns of Afghanistan. You understand, Mr. Man? And man, oh man, there still exists that ever more slick and phenomenal plan of the new African, when in that righteously right on time and season of some come on winning ticket expectation, me and my brother and sister will continue to fruitfully multiply like the generational seeds of Daddy Abraham. And we shall soon become that perfectly exalted entity of players balling and shot calling unity, with our everlastingly dashing capabilities of us victoriously rising and surpassing all of them inner damning catastrophes of phony inferiorities, destructive powders of self-despising anthrax. And surely in sharp-shooting contradiction to those racially accepted points of blurred and distorted view and them pessimistically fuzzy impressions of some redneck shady insights so wrongfully cursed and falsified, I'd still be here, there and everywhere, and I would happily be brown-eyed witnessing the ebony infancy, puberty, and legendary maturity of me and my brother and sister, venturing on vertical style and excelling so dynamically steadfast with overcoming survival as our golden shield of superlative protection, with respectable esteem as our sturdy buckler of resilient excellence, with the world-conquering fervor of foretelling optimism for tomorrow's many extravagant successes as a hotly inflamed sword of sun and blazing mastery, and with the constantly crowning intelligentsia of self-knowledge as an exceedingly glowing warrior's helmet of African loving hope and upliftment and a greatly ascending advent into a glorifying future so amazingly prosperous and regally magnificent for me and my brother and sister. The second poem of the evening is entitled Doctrines of Devils. What the blue blazes is going on with all of them untruthfully shouted out falsehoods of chiefly lying and jive and gibberish, and those evilly contemptuous tall tales of absolutely ludicrous and greatly misinforming deceits, which ever apparently would still be on their unmerrily scornful and sadistic pathways of brazenly double-talking all of their stone moronically enfeebled and laughably juvenile utterances of crazily unorthodox opinions and judgments against the pridefully fly and colossal innateness of an Archebulan monarch's own powerfully avant-garde expressiveness of highly astral value and classiness. For this here indigenously hip and excellence paragon of spontaneously rockin' funk and jazziness be shown up on that automatically instinctive practice of making it a routinely sharp and perspicacious praxis to unanimously spoil and to utterly discredit a verbally nefarious lexicon of strictly villainous distortions that be sternly perpetrating those solely fictional and simply fabricated storylines about my humanly tripped up unity of rightly minded psyche, mightily strengthened spirit, and bodily advancing vitality being naturally and culturally polluted with some insidiously corrosive philosophy of cipher grafted in mentality and planted inferiority, sharply emboldened eyes of angrily redded indignation be surely peeping out and vigilantly discerning that cognitively sterile and willfully ignorant presence of many demonish incartations and those seemingly countless fallen angels in hatefully soiled and dingy linens, as they would be stressfully persecuting this consciously dexterous scion of Africa with those famously crooked and delusory anecdotes of mendaciously mistaken hogwash that be illogically putting forth an insanely pervading front in idiotically insulting my cleverly eccentric and uncommonly terrific persona, with an orally abusive assemblage of anointed Beelzebub's racially slurring expletives and a satanic Saxon scandalizing barbs of desperately wry and wrathful animosity. But you know and I know that it shall not be continuing on and on to be all to the good from the nauseatingly uppity landscapes of the vanilla suburbs to the notoriously really edgy avenues of Chocolate City. Because this here motherland reputed maverick of knightly courage and soldiered out bravery be gallantly extinguishing them Aryan flaming darts of prejudicially rude and crude rubbish with an impenetrable shield of soulfully impenitent integrity and confidence. And every single stupidly miscellaneous patchwork of nastily mischievous speech be openly and explicitly disregarded as invidiously trumped up inferacities that show enough were synthetically brewed and concocted from the eternally sweltering pit of an infernally broiling netherworld of rancorous disdain and spitefulness. And thusly, in that aurora swirling mix of all of this monumentally righteous thinking and existing, would I be so credibly practical with that groovily analytical endowment of being so in the know of that covertly modified and vilely masqueraded scheme of the man's modernistic sins and offenses of millennial discrimination? For he is not smartly keen to nor instinctively aware at all that my solemnly percolating mechanisms of readily receptive acceptance has surely led and guided forth my subterranean intangibility and mindfully directed feasibility to that thoughtfully inducing perspective bag of revelatory reality, which be so reasonably discovered through this here wisely acute understanding, that in the optically obstinate gazes and grossly antagonistic conclusions of hate, praise, and enmity worshiping separatists, there must be the mutually agreed impression that this Nubian academician of ruthless inspired wit and discernment is somehow oblivious and stone simple-minded to their secretly underscored and subtly disguised attacks of racist ambiguity, which are as deviously slick and as dangerously crafty, like the shifty slither of a predatory sidewinder, that be a sliding on sideways on his guilefully perilous motions of serpentine trickiness upon those exceedingly burning sands of a Death Valley excursion into Hades. But just like that aquatically buoyant and grim reaper destroyed valiancy of a ghetto messiah, I am getting higher and higher in my nouveau exuding credentials, in quickly transforming myself into the divinely supersonic essence of myself. And I shall invincibly manifest my greatly identifying animus in becoming another specially earthen representation of the second Adam, so that with a battling foot, a masterfully thrashing and a smashing triumph, I would gather up enough of that deeply intestinal fortitude to forcefully stomp the wily cranium and to boldly crush the ever-lurking neck of that stealthily slip and sliding serpent and all of his wickedly hidden and fearfully clandestine habits, in painfully bruising my majestic heel with them totally vulpine and furtively ill-natured rants of closeted malice and secluded contempt. And my radically revolting gesture of snake pulverizing defense is only to abundantly verify that pragmatically sobering rationale that, contrary to the wrongfully outrageous belief of Yellow Belly conjuring bigots and bitterly affrighted segregationists everywhere, I be personally generating that pivotally unexpected precedent of a shutting up into dumb and blinded helplessness those brawlsome dings of erratically imagined hot air that be a waning and failing so atrociously in heretically bagging and loud-mouthed and ostentatiously boss and ornately towering precedents of my flawlessly perpetual stance for proudly shining glory and basaltic distinction. But there shown up ain't no suddenly newfangled or immaturely greened out madness to my royally satisfying and regally crowning badness, which doubtlessly be surely correcting and cleanly rectifying all of that knavishly reprobate and wretchedly deviating balderdash with its own vastly immense and wildly mathematical persuasions of Kenyatta heightening strength and ebonizing empowerment, and a hugely ecumenical consent of convincingly evident gods and omnipotently privileged deities from the east, be gracefully acknowledging their greatly harmonizing concord of perfectly supporting truism, as they all would be sovereignly attested to the aphrodynamic potency of my almighty bursting propensities for weightily projecting esteem, dignity, and stone proper uprightness of character, which I shall consequently be intrepidly exhibiting as a fervently consuming backdraft of ever fiery scintillation, and with the unstoppably forcible resolution of some thermonuclear temperament, will this undeniably charismatic flame of rowdily unquenchable destiny be effectually incinerating and ideologically burned up clans, dry and brittle chicaneries of perviously tainted presumptions and their traditionally stereotypical quibbles of pestilent pessimism. And now they are an absolutely cindered heap of cremated nothingness indeed. No more than just reactionary doctrines of blue-blooded devils that done gotten massively blasted by an urban atomic holocaust of a steadily progressive iconoclast, who is personifiably cloven with the positively anarchistic insurgence of successfully conquering tenacity and victory. Thank you so much for listening to these poems tonight. I hope you like what you heard. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share these videos. I'll be coming back at you with some more Tribal Judah poetry. In the meantime, I bid you shalom.